Hello to my online learners and welcome to Chapter 16, the Gastrointestinal System, also called the Alimentary Canal. Today we are going to look at Chapter 16 and we're not going to go quite into the depth of the chapter because it goes into more than we need to look at. And also I want you to pay attention to the clinical issues just to know them by name, but you don't need the detail. So first off, with the gastrointestinal system, it has the following functions. You want to ingest, which is get the raw materials in. And then you digest, which is break them down. And this can be done two ways, either chemically, where you take large chunks of stuff and break it into small stuff. Physically, where you take large chunks of product and you break it down into smaller chunks of the same thing. And then chemically, where you're taking large molecules and you're breaking them down to smaller molecules that will allow them to pass through the capillaries into the bloodstream. And then you must have absorption, so they must be small enough to get from the tube, which is the gut tube, into the bloodstream, and then you eliminate that which you don't use. Now, when you're looking at the digestive system, look at it as a tube within your body. So anything that's in your gut is not really in your body until it's broken down and absorbed through the wall. So you have an array of main organs and accessory organs, and when you look at them, the whole idea of the digestive system is to take and use muscles to break down and then enzymes to digest, and the tube begins at the mouth and ends at the anus. In between these points, you have lots of parts, which we'll look at. You also have what are called accessory organs, and accessory organs help in the digestion, but the food doesn't actually go through them. So this includes the teeth, the salivary glands, the liver, the pancreas, the gallbladder. I kind of wonder about the teeth, but anyway. Salivary glands, liver, and pancreas, they make enzymes which get dumped into the gut, but the food doesn't pass through them themselves. And then the gallbladder just stores. So here we are looking at the digestive system. It starts in the oral cavity. You have the mouth, where the food goes in. You have teeth, which chew it up. You have a tongue, which swishes it around. You also have salivary glands. Now, I want you to be aware of the salivary glands because saliva is very important because it adds moisture to lubricate. It adds a little bit of mucus, and it also adds salivary amylase, our first enzyme in digestion. But I won't have you name the glands here because that's just a little too extreme. Then the food will go, once swallowed, the tongue pushes on the epiglottis, which closes off the opening to the lungs through the larynx. So the food will go down the esophagus. And the esophagus is a muscular tube. It then goes into the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine, out the rectum, and the anus. So let's look at it. First off, ingestion is getting the food in. Mastication is the fancy word for chewing, and digestion is the word for chemically breaking down food into smaller food molecules. Then you secrete, which is taking the enzymes and the buffers and putting them and mixing them with the food. Then you have absorption, where the food is passing from the lining of the digestive tract into the bloodstream. And then defecation or excretion is the elimination of the waste products that didn't get dissolved or absorbed. We talked about the oral cavity. You have the soft palate, the tongue on the floor, the cheeks. You have the uvula, which is the thing at the back. They think the uvula is to help direct your food down and prevent it from going up your nose, but not really confirmed there. Your mouth, you receive, you taste, your tongue, you swish things around, and your tongue also helps in swallowing. So the tongue pushes the ball-like mass of food. At this point, it's called a bolus, and it passes it into the larynx. The tongue also provides taste, stimulation, and the membrane underneath, you just have one. You don't need to know the lingual, that spot, femula. Anyway, here's the mouth. I want you to be aware that you have different types of teeth. I won't quiz you on the different types of teeth, but we'll look at the basic anatomy of the tooth. Notice the ones in front, the incisors, those are